Yes, people, transfer window is now open. We are now officially in 2026 and Arsenal are looking to do business. These are the words from Mikel Arteta himself, and it's very, very positive because it just shows he really wants to clinch a trophy this season. And in order to do that, we have to be active in the market because we know our rivals, Man City, are just about to get Semenyo, who's an amazing winger and also was linked to Arsenal a few times, but of course never materialised. Liverpool also looking to reinforce, definitely in January, to make sure that they're getting that top 4 spot, because we all know that they're not going to be winning the league this year because of their poor form and injuries, so they'll be looking to reinforce as well. And I feel like Arsenal, it's a very tricky one, because if I look across the Arsenal team, I don't know which position is weak. Now, I was going to say left wing. With left wing, Martinelli is performing absolutely amazing in Champions League. And then Trossard is performing amazing in the Premier League. Right wing, we know Saka, world-class right winger. Then Madueke is also performing wicked in the Champions League as well. Up front, Gabby Jesus, Gyökeres and Havertz. Number 10 row, we've got Eze and Ødegaard. Centre midfield, we've got Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Declan Rice, Norgard. Left back, Lewis Skelly, Calafiori. Our centre backs, we've got Hincapié, Gabriel, Saliba, Mosquera, and right back we've got Timber and Ben White. So it's very, very hard for us as Arsenal fans to pick an area which we need to address. But there are a few names that we're being linked with, and it also could mean a few departures as well. I don't think Arsenal are going to bring in players and not let anybody leave. I feel like there's going to be some departures this month. They're also looking at Wanyeri leaving. Now, Wanyeri had a very promising season last year, and I feel a bit sorry for him that he's kind of been outcasted. I think Mikel Arteta probably sees something we don't, which is probably a grey area, hence why he's in Wanyeri leave and maybe finding a replacement in this January, or probably making room for Max Dowman, who knows. But he's been linked to Bournemouth, and I think Bournemouth obviously will look to replace Semenyo with somebody who is probably younger and who they can build up. I think Wanyeri will probably fit that Bournemouth system really, really well. Would I like Wanyeri to leave? No. I think he's a great player. He's still very, very young. But again, if Arteta doesn't see him in his plans, then there's nothing much we can say or do, because that means he has to leave. Now, let's talk about some players that we've been linked with. Now, Arsenal, we were kind of linked with Semenyo, but in the end, we chose to go a different direction. Some of the other players we've been linked with is Kenan Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz, interesting. A lot of my friends are like, yeah, he's what we need. He's this, he's that, he's great. He's a fantastic footballer, don't get me wrong. But I just want to ask you a question. What is the difference between him and Martinelli? They play exactly the same. I think the only difference is between Yildiz and Martinelli is Yildiz, he can shoot, but probably better than Martinelli. But in terms of dribbling and running at players, I think Martinelli and Yildiz are very, very similar. So then that would mean that if we did get Yildiz, then one of the left wingers has to leave, because I don't think Martinelli, Trossard and Yildiz on the left-hand side is going to work for every single game. You know, you can't keep subbing on 3 wingers at a time. And I'm sure one of the wingers is going to want guaranteed game time, at least starting. So if you had to pick, if I had to pick, if we were bringing in Yildiz, I'd probably say, because there's like for like, probably Martinelli needs to leave. Now, he was linked to Al Nassr in the summer. It was rejected. Now, there was some reports earlier in November and a bit of December that we're looking to offload him to a Turkish team, Fenerbahce. I don't know if that will happen this month. I think Arteta really likes Martinelli and regards him highly because of his defensive work. And he's starting to pick up form now, especially in the Champions League. He scored in every single game he's played. And that's a big deal. So it's very hard, again, for Arteta to decide who will leave. Trossard, I'll probably say I'm more of a fan of Martinelli than Trossard. But Trossard, I mean, when I watched him against Villa, player of the match for me, he was just playing out of his boots. But again, I think the problem with Arsenal on the left wing is the inconsistency. I think Arteta's kind of found the right balance now. He knows who performs in Champions League, who performs in Premier League, but there's a real big inconsistency when it comes to both those left wingers. When do they start performing? And when you expect them to perform, they don't. Another player we were linked to was Leao early in the year. Leao, I like him as a player. I think with Arsenal, he doesn't really suit our system. I feel like he'd probably suit Liverpool more. I've said it in my previous video as well. And Leao it's going to definitely be a big, hefty price tag. AC Milan are not going to let him go for anything less than, I think, 80 million. So again, if we're going to get him, we're going to have to break the bank. Another AC Milan player we've been linked with is a left back called Bartazagi. He's a young player. He's been playing really well for AC Milan this season. But again, that would mean that either Calafiori definitely won't be leaving, but that means Miles Lewis-Skelly might have to make way. Again, do we want to get rid of our homegrown players for these new players coming in? I like Miles Lewis-Skelly as a backup. I don't think he's great as a start. I think last year there was a bit of competition. There's a bit of like, okay, who's better, Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly? But I think this season, it's clear to see that Calafiori has definitely solidified that left back spot. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Skelly, he wants to make that England squad. He needs to step up because even though he's not getting game time, but there's still, when he does get that chance, he needs to take it wholeheartedly. We're seeing other players in other positions that when they get the chance, they play amazing. I mean, Ben White, when he's played right back when he's not injured, he's done a great job. Yeah, he got player of the match once, I think, since he's been starting right back when Timbo's away. And this is what Miles Lewis-Skelly needs to do. Goalkeeper, I mean, Kepa, he's happy being number 2. But yeah, it's just, I think Arsenal, they want to invest, I think, just as backup for injuries more than anything. But I personally don't think we're going to get any superstars. Superstars usually arrive in the summer because teams can prepare for replacements. But I don't think Arsenal this transfer window are going to bring in anybody of world-class caliber. I think it was something we can develop, but if we got someone like Bartazagi, someone that you can build the team around as well, because he's a young left back. But again, I don't see Arsenal breaking the bank for someone like Yildiz, who's going to be around 80 million as well this transfer window. But we're going to keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye on the news. You never know, it's football. Things happen behind the scenes, which we don't know about. Deals happen, contract talks. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about who you think Arsenal need to buy. Who are some of the weak areas in our team? Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.